Hello, welcome back to another Comic Pressing 101. This is more of a story, a cautionary tale than a tutorial. I shot and loaded, by the time you watch this video, most likely you have seen a video where I demonstrate my methods of pressing a square bound book. Okay, that method derived from my first and only failures pressing a square bound book. When I first got that press machine, one of the in the early days, I was still pressing at high temperature. By high, I mean it was like 180, 185 ish, under 200. I never pressed a book at 200 ever from the get go. I always thought it was way too high, but perhaps like 185 ish. And one of the first square bound that I pressed was my off the rack, okay, copy of this book. I was not a big fan of Gambit, never was. For some people, he's the jam. He was never the jam for me, but this is my replacement copy that I bought a few years later for cheap. But I had a copy of this book that I bought off the rack because Gambit was never one of my favorite character. The book was not well maintained. I don't think that I even put it in a bag or board for years or decades. It has a lot of flaws, so I prep it and put it under the press for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. I never, in those days, in the early days, because I was pressing things at a higher temperature, I was afraid that to leave book in there too long. But even for 10 minutes, okay, when I lifted up, first of all, the spine was crushed. Definitely not as square as this one. I wish I can find it in the closet. It is, I did not throw the book out. It is somewhere in the closet, and someday when I clean out that closet, I will run across that copy and then I will show it to show you what it looked like today. But what I noticed was the spine was no longer square. It's more rounded, and the book is more flattened. On top of that, the glue, okay, as you know, most square bound books are glued to the interior at the spine. The glue liquefied and melted, okay. Let me take out this book to demonstrate to you what I'm talking about. Oh man, I wish I'm too lazy to dig into that closet and find that book before I sit down and shoot this video. I wish I have it so that I can demonstrate it, but someday when I clean up that closet, I can find it. But okay, so here is a copy that, okay, the typical copy is in most square bound book. It's rare to have a square bound book that open flush to the edge of the spine. Okay, it's usually only open so much, okay, as you can see right there, because the glue is probably into the first maybe an eighth to a quarter inch of the spine. So the same thing with the back cover, okay, it's not going to open all the way, okay. Alright, so that's typical of this book. When I took it out under the press, the glue has melted and spread much further. You can even see the wet glue right here at the bottom of the spine and on top of the spine. And the book, now instead of having like a quarter inch or so where the book open up like this, now the book is almost like half an inch glue into the cover. The splash page is an inch, half an inch or more glue into it. So that was the one screwed up that right away I said to myself, oh my God, I didn't realize that even a book that was, at the time, that book must have been 20 something years old, right? Even the glue, 20 something years old, can liquefy under a certain amount of heat. Wow. If that's the case, then I need to press square bound book regardless, even if the glue is dry. There are plenty of square bound books out there where the glue is old enough, that dry enough that it won't be impacted by the high heat. Okay, that's my guess. Okay, but I don't need to go there. I don't need to figure out if a glue to a certain square bound book is gonna be able to survive and not liquefy under a hot press. There's no need for that. Once was enough. Okay, the way I approach learning something, doing something once and it failed badly, is enough to say find a different methods. Okay, and this is a cautionary tale of why I did what I did or do what I do today as far as square bound. There are plenty of books, plenty of square bound books out there that if I put under the press completely, spine included, it won't be, the glue would be fine. Okay, there are, I'm sure of it. I'm not saying that, you know, every square bound book is gonna turn into that bad situation, but why chance it? Usually with square bound book, the flaws are not on the edge of the spine. Okay, it's square bound are made very strong where the spine ticks at the spine are often not there, right? For those that are familiar with square bound, more so the flaws are on the edges compared to the spine. There are, I'm not saying that there are no such thing as a spine tick on a square bound. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that very often you get more flaws on the edges and less flaws at the spine that require some kind of pressing to fix the spine tick. So to keep things safe, that's how I develop my way of pressing square bound, by leaving the spine outside of the press machine. No need to chance it. And that's it. That's the story behind why I came up with my methods. I always encourage people to experiment, try things on their own, and develop their own methods. If they find another way that is better than mine, I'm not saying that this is the only method. I'm beating a dead horse again, okay? As far as telling people that this is just my way, not the only way. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.